Today's video is going to be all about my experience at Gem and Jam Festival. I had so much freaking fun at this festival and I am so surprised by how smoothly it went, and I have a habit of talking way too much, so without giving away everything I thought about the festival, let's get right into it. So going into this festival, I was really confused and lost. I haven't been to a festival in so long where I felt so underprepared, and it reminded me of why I started making videos like this in the first place. The last time I felt so unprepared was, I guess, going to Electric Forest when there was no content about any festivals out there. And since then, the only new festivals I've gone to, I've had other people who have been to them before that I knew personally, or it was a festival like Coachella where there's so many videos on it. And since this is a smaller size festival, I was definitely struggling with finding the content to help me get through. So hopefully this will be able to help you guys if you're planning on going and looking for more information. I don't know what order my videos are coming out in, but I either have vlogs already up on my channel or vlogs coming soon, so keep an eye out for those if you're curious what the festival is actually like. But anyway, more about the actual festival. So there's about 4,000 attendees that go every year this year, and I think every year in the past, for the most part at least, it has not sold out. I've only been to either festivals way bigger than this, 30,000-40,000 to 100,000 plus people a day, or things that are really small, 100 people. This was definitely new territory for me for a medium-sized festival, and I really enjoyed the size. The stages were never super packed, which I really enjoyed. There was actually an amazing amount of space at every single set I went to, even Tipper, which I would think was the most sought after person at the festival, in my opinion, and from what I know, and I am more EDM focused, so that's definitely at least what I heard the most about and heard the most noise about. I even had a ton of space to dance at that set, which I was really surprised about. So there are two main stages. There's one indoor stage and one outdoor stage. The indoor stage was called the Onyx stage and the outdoor stage was called the Emerald stage, and once again those were the two main stages, but there were two other small stages and both of those were outside. One of them was the Quartz stage and one of them was the Opal stage. The Opal stage was right outside of the bigger indoor stage, and then the Quartz stage was right when you entered. It was really cool because honestly there was nothing really special about the Opal stage, but the Quartz stage was right when you walked in, and it had tons and tons of places to sit and chill. And like I said, this was a smaller festival and the festival did not sell out, so these cool activities that they had planned and cool seating areas were always open and you could actually enjoy them instead of waiting in line. At Electric Forest, I've been 5 times and I've never enjoyed the tea room. I've never enjoyed the meditation gong. There's so many activities I've never experienced because there's always so many people waiting to do them, but that was not the case here. There's always space at these cool seating areas. There were little trampoline things for you to lay in. Even at the other stages, at the Emerald stage, the bigger outdoor stage, there were bleachers on either side of the stage in the back so you could have a good view and a place to sit and lay if you wanted to. There was a cabana at this bigger stage as well. The indoor stage, there weren't any spots specifically to sit, but it was indoors so you could literally sit wherever you wanted and not really have to worry about getting dirty or anything. So throughout each of the stages, I enjoyed the production at each of the stages. It wasn't out of this world. I kind of wasn't really expecting anything from the stages, any points of interest, because a lot of festivals won't even put any effort into their production. It's just a straight up stage, essentially tapestries hanging from the side, but there are definitely points of interest on each of the stages. There were little spots for people to stand up and dance with light up bodysuits. At one of the sets I saw, there was little crystals popping out of the stages. I thought they did a pretty good job with the stage production for the size of the festival. And then for noise, I never really had any complaints about the sound. There was one set where I noticed it was pretty quiet, but it was really early in the day. And as the day went on, it definitely got louder and the bass got louder, and I enjoyed the quality of the sound for the most part. Obviously, those things are hard to control, so it depends on where you're standing, how many people are in the room, things like that. I'm not an expert, but overall, I had a pretty good experience with the sound. It wasn't super loud, but it was good. Another great part about this festival was there was no time conflicts At least for me, I personally didn't know that many people on the lower card. And the two smaller stages, they played music all day between 12 noon, I think, till midnight. So if you wanted to see people on these smaller stages, you might have had conflicts. But if you were only focusing on the two main stages like I was, the sets were always alternating. So there was someone 5 to 6 outside, 6 to 7 inside, 7 to 8 outside, and there was never people playing at each of the main stages at the same time. You would think this would cause a lot of traffic jams and like herding issues essentially, but since there weren't that many people, the walk back and forth from each stage really wasn't bad, and the festival grounds were relatively small, so it took probably like 3 to 5 minutes absolute maximum to get from one stage to the other, and there was never any like traffic jams. I had a great experience with that, and like I said, I had absolutely no time conflicts because of this, so I freaking loved this part of the festival. So for the most part, the crowd were definitely like the wook hippie crowd that you would expect. It was really interesting because right when I entered the festival, I felt this overwhelming, calm, warm energy in the air. I didn't even see that many people like spiraling or like that seemed out of control. I saw like 2 people that seemed a little bit iffy. In the grand scheme of things, that's pretty much irrelevant to only see 2 people. At festivals, it's really common to see people that get way too out of hand, so I was super surprised by that. There's normally like a little bit of a chaotic energy in the air when you go to a festival. It's just like a lot is happening, but like I said, at this particular festival, it was so calm and warm and inviting, and I just felt so welcome and happy to be there. And even with the people that didn't look like the typical wook hippie person that you would expect at this festival, like I saw a very small amount of Chads at the festival, and even they had the same warm energy. They just weren't dressed the part of like the average wook, but like I have no issues with anybody, not a single person at the show that I saw. So moving on to security. Security was an absolute breeze. Do not worry about security. For some reason, I was really nervous about the security situation just because I've heard about a lot of Arizona horror stories with like the consumption laws and stuff. Like you can't even have a sip of beer and then leave the venue, or you can get a DUI and like go to jail. I was like, oh great, me and my friends are gonna go to jail because I'm gonna have one beer way earlier in the night and like we're all just gonna be screwed. I just went into the festival kind of wary of getting in trouble, but security was such a breeze. I never actually looked really too far into detail about what you were allowed in and what you were not allowed in, but I'm pretty sure you weren't allowed in any sort of backpack. No camelbacks, no water bottle backpacks, no dogs I'm pretty sure you weren't allowed to have in, and they simply did not care about any of these rules. My friend brought in a huge backpack, like literally bigger than my torso, and I definitely saw dogs inside not only the camping area, but also inside the actual festival grounds. So when I first drove in, they pretty much just asked me to raise my hand for my wristband. For all they know, I didn't freaking have one, just had a purple ribbon around my wrist, but that was pretty much the wristband checking, no scanning or anything. And then when I got to the bag check area, they just opened up my bag, looked through it really quickly, nothing major. And then I went to like a person that had a metal detector wand. It was super chill. There was also a dance safe presence there, which I thought was really important and impressive because there's so many festivals that completely ignore that aspect of festival culture. And I just think it's really screwed up, and it's definitely like a business decision rather than a decision to actually prevent disasters from happening. They were like literally just handing out fentanyl test strips. Like my friend was just like, wait, what is this? Someone just put this in my hand, and it was a fent test strip, which I think is super important, and I love that you didn't even have to go out of your way. They literally just fell into your lap. There's tons of vendors to choose from. I'm not even really gonna get into it. There's not that much to say about the vendors. There's tons of vendor options, and they were all scattered throughout the festival on the walks between each of the stages. There was also tons of art throughout the whole entire festival venue, from live painters just to people vending their art. There's a shaded area right before you enter farthest stage, which is the bigger outdoor stage. This had tons of live painters and tons of art just on display as if it was like a museum. I was personally extremely impressed by the live painters. My personal style and preferences of art typically don't align with the art that's sold at festivals, but I was so impressed by so many of the art pieces, and even things that were not my style were just like the most intricate amazing, impressive pieces of art I've ever seen at a festival. I was so impressed, and that's something I totally skim over at any other festival. I don't think it's that like exciting to me, but the stuff on display at this event and the artists they chose were unreal. I was just really impressed by it. They also had other cool activities planned and like sprinkled throughout. Like they had a little area with a fire pit, which was nice because it was really cold. There was a drum circle area where you could just walk up and there's always drums available and people going in and out. You could just play and bang along. It was really fun. They also had like a compliment bar set up, which is just like a traveling thing that goes to a lot of different festivals. I thought they put in a lot of detail, and like I said, it was never super crowded. You could just walk up and do any of this stuff whenever you wanted and didn't have to worry about waiting in a line. Me and my friends were planning on camping for this festival, and last second we kind of panicked and decided to just get a hotel. We did this because we heard it was going to be really cold, and that it was. It was very cold during the nighttime and pretty warm during the day. The daily parking, there was like a $20 impact fee. We never had to pay it. I don't know if that's because I had a media pass. They just decided not to make me pay for anything, even though I know I was supposed to be paying for this impact fee. The fee was enforced by Tucson and not by the actual event, but we also might not have gotten that because we were in a Tesla because we rented a car. That's just something to take note of. So if you decide to do daily parking, you do have to pay daily, and I think it's like $20 plus the $20 impact fee. The daily parking lot is just parallel to the camping area, and it takes up about the same amount of space, so there's really no difference between how far you have to walk from your car, whether you're camping or you are daily parking. Most people definitely camped from what I could tell. We did notice that a lot of people online encouraged camping. It was hard to tell how many people actually were camping because some people just might be louder than the rest. There weren't that many people online talking about the festival, so we couldn't really figure it out, but it did seem like most people were camping. I would definitely suggest camping. I had the tiniest bit of FOMO about not camping, but I would way rather camp than stay at a hotel if I ever have the option at a festival. You could camp for free, or you could get a cart camping pass for $130. They said there was no ins and outs, but I highly doubt they're enforcing that from what I could tell from the security situation. The only thing is, if you camp, you need to be prepared for the weather. It definitely was freezing cold at night. A couple days after I left, I checked my weather app on my way into work to see the weather in LA, and it like accidentally pulled up Tucson, and it said it was like 27 degrees at 8 a.m. So definitely be prepared for the weather. Again, that is exactly why me and my friends didn't end up camping, because we didn't really have a way to be super prepared unless we want to spend a decent amount of money. 3 out of 4 of us had to fly to get to the festival, so it just wasn't really realistic. We didn't want to put that much effort in, but it's definitely possible if you want to put the effort in. If you did not decide to camp, definitely book your hotel in advance. We had to stay pretty far away. We stayed like 45 minutes away on the northern part of Tucson, whereas the festival was at the southeastern part. So definitely be prepared to get a hotel sooner. We only had like a couple weeks left till the event. That was our own fault. Circling back to the weather a little bit. I'm from the East Coast, so I kind of thought I could get away with being a little bit chilly and being able to make it through the night. The first night I definitely made a mistake thinking that. I was pretty cold, and the next night I ended up buying hand warmers, gloves, I brought a beanie. We low-key brought outfit changes, just went to the car to do a quick change. It was fucking freezing cold. Like, I brought a blanket to wrap myself in. I don't know, I was like fully prepared for like a winter night on the second night, and I was a lot happier, so definitely be fully prepared. Now a little bit about the logistics. This was at the fairgrounds. It was a combination between pavement and grass. All of the stages were on grass except for the indoor stage, which was like concrete warehouse situation. I noticed one real bathroom, and then I saw some porta potties sprinkled throughout, but there was never a huge bathroom line. I never even waited for the bathroom. I went to the boys' bathroom the one and only time I used the bathroom there, because there was a line for the girls, but honestly it was like 10 people deep. It wasn't all that bad. And then I only noticed one water refill station spout, but like I said, I never waited more than like a minute to use these water refill stations. I was really worried about the dust, and I definitely did notice some dust in my lungs, but it wasn't like completely grass, dirt. I think that would be more of a problem if you're staying and camping. That area definitely seemed a little bit more dusty, especially with cars traveling by, but inside the festival there was more concrete, so it didn't really affect me that much. So back to the sets. I had so much fun at this event. I thought the sets were all amazing. I saw Daily Bread, Smoke Land, Marvel Years, Manic Focus, Tipper, Immersive, So Down, The Floozies, Buku, and Big G. My two favorite sets were easily Tipper and Immersive. Immersive was a long time coming. I've been dying to experience Immersive set for like 2 or 3 years now, and a lot of times when I really like an artist, I go and see them in real life and it's like a little bit disappointing the set isn't as hype as I imagine it will be in my head. But Immersive did not disappoint between his dance moves and just the absolute fire he was throwing down. I have a couple more Immersive sets in my future. I just got really lucky this year. He's on a lot of lineups for festivals that I'm already planning on going to, and I will not be missing any of them. I was so impressed. I'm low-key in love with him now, watching his like cute little dance moves and seeing him be so into the set. Another great thing about these stages were they were really low to the ground, and it was just an intimate setting, so you could get a really good view and feel like you were like dancing face to face with the DJ instead of feeling super far away and like they were super high up. So that was just a great all-around experience to see him like just going off and fully enjoying himself on stage. I always just think it's really fun to like watch a DJ be really into what he's doing. I also really enjoyed Tipper, obviously. That was one of the biggest reasons I wanted to go. And I have seen Tipper one other time, but I just was not as seasoned as I am now. Again, not that I'm any sort of like EDM expert or anything along those lines, but I definitely appreciated it more this time. I had so much fun and loved it the first time I saw it, but now in hindsight, I'm like, I don't remember taking any note of the visuals, or I don't know. I just feel like this set, I saw it from a completely different lens, and I had a whole other appreciation towards the visuals and the whole experience. The way my friend described it was like a sound bath, which I thought was a really interesting way to explain it. His songs aren't even like songs. They are, because I don't know, it's hard to explain. You just have to experience a Tipper set. Do yourself a favor. It's so much different than any other electronic set. So for my overall experience, I had so much fun, and I'm so surprised by how much fun I had and the fact that I have legitimately zero complaints about my whole entire experience, besides that I wasn't prepared enough on the first day, which was completely my own fault because I really thought I was going to be able to push through that cold weather, and I just couldn't. That has nothing to do with the festival literally at all.
Settling for warm because it like definitely needs to be like 10 degrees warmer.
It is freezing cold.
I loved the size of the festival. I loved that it was small and there was always room for me to dance no matter where I was. Like when I was on the rail, I had so much space. I'm not a rail girl and I went up to the rail because it was literally just so easy to walk up to.
5 minutes out from Buku. 4 minutes. Look how dead it is. This is the best. There's no crowds. You can go right up to the front.
It's
And
basically
we're
the
not
best.
rail people, but today we are because we have to embarrass Pat as much as possible. Let's get in the family photo.
I loved the crowd. Everyone was super nice. No complaints there. The overall energy everyone brought to the festival was very relaxing and calm. The security was so chill. I never saw any issues that were caused by the result of the security being so relaxed. The lineup was unreal, and the lineup is very on brand every year. They don't stray far from the jam bands and that funky EDM type of vibe, and I love that because you kind of know consistently there's always just going to be a fire lineup if you're into that kind of stuff. I love that there was no set time conflicts if you were focused on the 2 big main stages, and I would 100% go back. My only complaint is I would definitely camp next time, even though I really enjoyed my experience at the hotel. Like I said, I'm just a camping kind of girl when it comes to festivals when that's the option. Alright, hopefully this helped you guys. I will definitely be uploading more videos to help you prepare if you're looking into going in 2021 when the time comes. But if not, you should subscribe because I do tons of videos all about my experiences at festivals, tips and advice to help you guys, vlogs if you want to know what the festival is actually like, and all sorts of fun stuff in between when I'm at home preparing and all that good stuff. Hit subscribe if you want to see more festival videos. You can hit the bell if you want to be notified every single time I upload, because if you don't know, they don't let you know every time I upload, even if you're subscribed. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter for all the daily stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!